Welcome to Revenant. Before we begin, let's take a look at the meaning behind the word revenant. The word revenant denotes one who returns after death or a long absence. Revenant is a borrowing from the French that was originally formed from the present participle of the verb revenir, to return. It literally means one coming back, either from another place or from the dead. Another way I like to see this title is as a combination of reverent, the term for a clergyman within the Christian faith, a revert, and revenant. We will again come back to this shortly. Perhaps first I should clarify what this channel is all about. In order to do this, we need to go back 51 years to the year 1970. Yes, I am that much of a fossil. I was then 5 years old and was placed into Christian Sunday school, that great religious sausage machine, and thus began my indoctrination. Just like millions of other Christians, I grew up believing, or rather being conditioned to believe, that Jesus was God. There was this mystical concept of the Trinity and a whole other bunch of doctrinal and quasi-doctrinal paraphernalia that we Christians were constantly bombarded with. That was supposed to turn us all into this huge conglomerate of cruciform sausages being spewed out by this religious sausage machine. But I'm a very troublesome kind of being, always asking the wrong or difficult or uncomfortable questions that the presiding hierarchy deemed contrary to my conditioning, and in some cases in bad taste. One might say I was one of those bad kids that simply will not shut up and listen. Well, I stayed within the narrow confines of my Christian faith, always wanting to believe, but knowing that there was something sadly lacking. At the age of 43, I came to the point of deciding to become a great general in the Lord's army. I set out to obtain my theological degree and expecting the church to reward me and clothe me as a reverend, or perhaps if I was really good at it, a right reverend, and lead Sunday services, and be the shepherd of my flock. The glory and honor that would be bestowed upon my humble shoulders. However, the more I studied, the more troublesome I became. You see, I found something within the pages of the Bible that was very disturbing to both myself and my teachers. I found references to a religious so-called cult that, according to the church, dabbled in worshipping Satan and or the moon, partook in lots of evil activities. This cult could be identified by their backpacks full of stuff that went bang, that they were supposed to go around setting off and causing mayhem. For most of my life, I had been warned to stay far away from these evil people. My problem was that these people were spoken of quite favorably in the Bible by God. These people were Muslims and the cult was Islam. Okay, so I was quite clearly, according to the church anyway, on very much the wrong track. What made matters worse is that I found many anomalies regarding Christianity that begged uncomfortable answers. After way too many confrontations, I committed mainstream Christian religious suicide. I was declared a heretic and excommunicated from the church. According to the church, I was dead.
لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
For the next 5 years, I drifted from one religious group to another, constantly searching for something to fill the God-shaped hole in my soul. I spent a couple of years with the Jehovah's Witnesses, studying what they believe, and then I took a look at the Mormons and their beliefs. However, God had other ideas, and at the age of 47, a friend of mine asked me to read a book. He didn't want it back and felt he would be rewarded by God for offering some guidance to my poor bereft soul. He gave me an English translation of the Holy Quran. It took me a week to be completely blown away. I had finally found what I was looking for. The Quran showed me that the Bible was absolutely correct. It also showed me that I was on the correct path. I became alive again. I became a revenant. In a short space of time, I knew I had to revert, and 3 months later I took my Shahada. I have to honestly admit that the last 9 years have been both the most difficult and at the same time most rewarding years of my life. If you would care to join me on my quest, I will share with you the things I have learned that shaped my journey thus far. I will compare mainstream interpretations of the Christian scriptures with my own. I will explain the challenges of the average revert and the surprising put-downs and uplifting experiences I have had. The misconceptions that are espoused by leaders of other faiths towards Islam, the uplifting experiences that have shaped my journey into Islam. I'll explore some of the concepts such as, for example, how long is one a revert? When do you become a Muslim, etc., etc. I will share some Quranic verses and I shall try my very best not to bore you. I do not claim to be an expert in any aspects of life, religion, science, or histories, except for my own experiences. So please hop on board and join me. There's room for everyone.